Hi, everybody. This is Diana, one of the operations folks here at Prepared Montessori Institute. I am here with
Nick Munoz.
Yeah, he's going to tell us a little bit more about himself in a second. I'm actually at his school because we can now, pandemic's kind of, reeled back a little bit. So you might hear some kiddos, you might hear some music practicing. It's live. It's all good, right?
That's how it works.
Okay, Nick, introduce more about yourself than just your name, please.
All right, so Nick Munoz. I am a Laurel Elementary guide. This is my second year. I was part of the first Prepared Montessori cohort, so I'm OG.
So this started in 2019 then?
That was a long time ago.
Right.
3 years ago already.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us how it went. How was that first class? Because I wasn't even here at PMI yet. What was it like?
Will they be going to California?
Not this year. So tell us. So you start with the in-residency in California. This summer's cohort will be virtual, actually, and they hopefully should be back to California next year.
So before everything got all crazy and shut down, we got to go to California for our intensive. It was 2 weeks, hands-on theory, a lot of practicing, a lot of being in the classroom.
Really?
It was a lot. And we actually went to Forest Lake, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's where they have their campus over there too. So we would go from the headquarters to the campus. We would work in the classroom, and then we would do classes in the headquarters. We would do theory with Matt Bateman and then Lindsay and I believe Helen's not there anymore.
No, it's all
right. So and Helen as well. Yeah. So it was a very eye-opening 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
It was just you're thrust into it, and it's kind of like therapy a little bit. Like learning about Montessori that deeply when I knew nothing about it going into it.
Okay, when you said knew nothing about it, so working back, like how did you even get to taking this training, getting to be a Montessori elementary guide?
Yeah. Okay. So I was a security guard here at the school, and so we became. After some things, we were officially hired by Higher Ground, and that's when we started getting the emails. So as soon as they proposed the training, I got an email on my account, and I was like, "Hey, I'll try this out." Because I worked a lot with the kids, even though I was security, I got to talk with them and hang out with them a lot during the day.
Yeah.
So I really got to notice how it was different than any
other
school I'd ever seen.
Or school maybe even that you went to?
Yeah, the way definitely different than where I grew up. But just watching how they behave and interact with me, I wanted a more active role. So we got the emails. I went to my principal and I was like, hey, I want to apply. I wrote a little application letter and I got accepted.
Wrote you a reference,
she wrote my recommendation and I got in. And I started that summer. So 2 weeks. So we went for 2 weeks. While I was there, I was still a security guard, but an opening just happened somebody had to leave their class. And when I came back, I was put in a classroom. So I was an assistant.
Okay.
I became an assistant for 1 year.
Okay.
And after I did that, I was still in the training, but I got to co-lead with another teacher the second year while I finished my training. And that was last year. And this year I have the classroom to myself, and it's been a heck of a journey so far.
Well, so you taught as an assistant guide and then co-guide in the first and second year. This program is about 2 years, right? So how is that like working and doing this certification at the same time? Because we say it takes like average, tell me if it's true or false, average like 8 to 10 hours a week. On top of like any scheduled class or something.
Oh no, that's real.
Okay.
That's real.
All right. So what's it like?
The best part about working with those, my practicum.
Okay.
I finished my practicum well within the first year because I'm working in the classroom.
All right.
The 10 hours. It's just stay on top of it.
Okay.
That's the best thing you can do is watch the videos when they put them out, record your lessons. It seems like a lot, but if you just chip away at a little bit every day, it's very manageable.
Well, so here's my understanding of it. You have classes. There's only like one, maybe sometimes 2 classes a week, right?
When I did it, it was one class, I think, every 2 weeks.
Okay. So online, like on Zoom or something, that seems pretty manageable.
Oh, it was very, very.
When you say the work what's the hardest part, I guess, or the part that you're talking about?
If you have
It's the album, isn't it? It's learning all the lessons.
There's a lot of lessons,
Yeah.
and you have to make your own lesson templates and cards for every single lesson.
Yeah.
So as long as you know it is a commitment, but once you do it, you have those albums for forever.
Forever. You have basically you're doing the curriculum and lesson planning.
Yeah,
while you're in school.
Yeah, you have all of that to look back on. So you have this amazing collection of lessons. You can just view at any time. They store them online for you in a lot of ways too. You can just go. You can just pull up. I don't know. Do they use Altitude? Are they still using it?
We're still using Altitude.
Yeah, you go
our
Altitude.
Learning management system.
Yeah, all your lesson, everything you do is in there. It's all it's like everything's centralized where you need it.
Okay.
So it's a lot of work putting in and doing your albums, but I don't think there's any other way you're going to be familiar with the stuff you're putting out that you're going to be teaching. It shows that you're getting the experience, like you're getting familiar with the work you're going to be doing for your career.
Yeah.
So I think it's worth it. When I say it's a lot of work, it's important work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very manageable. 10 hours is, you watch a couple lessons at night when you go home, if you're working in the classroom.
It's just chipping away at
it. It's
just staying on top of it.
I think do they do lower and upper?
We do
lower.
Doing
one class?
What do you mean?
My cohort was upper and lower.
Yes. Well, that's how PMI works actually.
Okay.
We do lower and elementary because we just think that's a better asset than just having or a skill set than having just the lower and just the upper.
So you're getting 6 years of work in a 2-year time period. So of course there's going to be some stuff you're going to put into it. Yeah, it's a big range of lessons.
Do you know how many lessons there are?
Hundreds.
No, we go into thousands.
So
that makes sense now, right?
I was a low estimate.
Okay. Well, let's wrap it up with actually like how is this training, like what has it brought to your life? What do you think it'll bring to your life? How's it
it gave me a career.
Okay.
So if it was 3 years ago, I would not have ever pictured that I'd be in a classroom. No way.
Yeah.
So it's given me a lot. The experiences I've had in the class with my kids, watching them grow. I have kids now that are completing their first cycle that I had when they were first graders. So I've actually been able to watch their growth over the last 3 years, and they're moving on in a couple months, and it's a little sad in the classroom, but it's beautiful. So my life is very different now, in all the good ways it can be. And then so this training it gave me that, and I'm very thankful for that. And I still get the joy of being like, I was class number 1, so like. So that's a pride thing. Like we were there since the very beginning. So that's pretty cool.
I could ask you could think about this. What advice would you give for someone who's interested? But before we get to that, like, what is your favorite lesson? What's the favorite thing, like best thing you like to do? To present to what topic? Anything like Anything to do with space. It turns into a big tangent for me. We start talking about space, and then the questions start coming up if we do a lesson, and then somehow it always ends up in black holes. And then I start talking to the kids about event horizon, and once you get past that, you get stretched out and spaghettification, and nothing gets out, and so the kids are like, "Whoa!" But then it's a lot of fun conversations. Anything to do with the sciences is my favorite because it's just very hands-on. And like we just started biology right now, and we're looking at the insides of plants. And when I saw that in your class,
when kids when kids normally think about plants, it's like they're just like things that are in a room. But after we start going into it, we realize they're just as alive as us and animals, and they all have body functions and things like that. And it's fascinating. But my favorite lesson, I think for me, the best lesson that just like shows what Montessori is the wooden hierarchy cubes. So it's the million cube. It's the best.
I have a Nido and a children's house. It's the elementary years.
So you don't really know you don't know what a million is. It's just a number to us.
Right. Super abstract.
But when you do this lesson, like when I do it, I have there's a little itty bitty cube, a unit cube, a 10 bar, 100 square. Then it goes to 1,000 cube, a 10,000 bar, and 100,000 square, and then at the very end you have this giant million cube.
There's a million cube?
It's really big. It's like this big. So I do it everything's under a black black tarp, and I do like a magic show. So I'm like, you know what one is, and then you show this is 1, this is 10, this is 100, and you keep getting bigger and bigger, and the kids are like, oh my gosh, and they keep seeing this big hulking thing under the blanket, and they don't know what it is, and they're like, finally, when there's 100 or when there's 10, 100,000 squares, they walk in a cube, and you pull up the blanket, and everyone's like cheering, like, oh. But it's such a good. You get to see what a million is.
Yeah.
You're seeing what these, like when I went to school, it's all just writing numbers.
Right.
You had no idea what that looks like, but from the very beginning, it's one of the earliest lessons you do. You're visualizing what these numbers look like. Like you're seeing the hierarchies, all the colors. These colors they're seeing now, they'll see for the rest of their schooling. Like, and it's the same colors they were seeing when they were in primary.
Yeah,
and everything.
3-year-old is seeing.
There's a through line that goes from like when you're a baby all the way through, and they start to notice it more. And
gotcha.
That's my favorite. If it was like one lesson, I think that's just like the best example.
That's so cool.
Oh, and the great lessons. When you guys get to do the great lessons, those are the best. They're five stories that you tell with the kids, and with really awesome experiments, and they get super into it every year.
Okay.
There's a lot of good lessons.
We'll have to talk again. Just because I do want to finish with a question, like if someone was super interested in wanting to apply, what advice would you give them?
Do it. Like, go for it.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you got to lose? You get awesome training. Would you call them teachers? I don't know if you would call
trainers.
My trainers. The trainers. The trainers are the best. They work with you. Like they're always available to help you out. They have your back. Like you get all the support you need, and that support lasts long after you leave. So long after you graduate, you still have them as a resource, which is, I mean, it's really good for advancing your career and working on yourself. Like do it. Just do it.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Nick, for sharing your experience with our elementary Montessori teacher certification. He is now a lower elementary lead guy.
Certified. That's right.
Thanks all.